Whoa, it's Wulzy. Welcome back to another video. Now, this is my first video as a Geometry Dash moderator. As you can see, I've got a million messages, but I'm giving myself a break because I'm going to be going through the Magic tab, having some fun, recording a light-hearted video. You know, maybe I'll send a few levels. Who knows? Seeing a bit of influence from Buff This, especially in that ship part. This is pretty cool. It's kind of empty, especially this transition right here, as you can see. Oh, and that's a bit of a style change right there. Not too much of a fan of that. I don't know how I just stayed alive through all of that, by the way. This white effect above everything's kind of janky too. It's kind of messing with my eyes. It's a bit fast. I feel like it could be eased a bit better to be shown a bit more clearly on screen, not stream. Jeez. It had some decent ideas, some potential in the block designs, but don't think it's worthy of a send really. It's not very consistent. It goes from style to style quite quickly, so we're just going to move on to Abandoned Lands by Guppy. Kind of digging these blocks, although they're quite simple. It reminds me of a Minecraft texture pack, you know, the blocky one that everyone used in like 2014. Yeah, I think the mod was called Boxcraft, but this is pretty nice. Decent transition going into the same style but a varied part. Pretty cool. I like how it's doing that, but I feel like there could be a couple of decoration pieces scattered around, low opacity arrows or something, just to fill up that empty space that the background doesn't quite cover. Yeah, see at the sides of the background there's big empty spaces that just aren't filled, especially when there's no blocks there. But I'm liking the progression this is going through, keeping a similar style all the way through. Pretty nice pulses there, done without changing the whole colour scheme that it's got going on, because otherwise it would look ugly. That is a pretty nice ending too. Pretty solid level. I'm not sure whether to send this or not because it does have quite a few empty sections, but I think there's quite a lot of details on the foreground that make up for it, so I'm going to send this for a 3-star rating. There you go. Bang. Finding the gameplay a little bit janky. It's a bit difficult to tell where things are going to move since it's so drastic. I don't know how I just got past all that. There's a lack of structuring that's very clear because there's lots of open spaces. Structures are often the best way to fill space, especially in levels like this where there just isn't any structures at all. It's all just in little boxes. I feel like some could be like stretched downwards or extended outwards, maybe with a couple of extra spikes, you know, just to fill in a bit of awkward space, and it's very difficult to tell where to go all the time. Maybe some extra arrows or something could help me out because I'm really struggling, as you can see. Like, what am I dying to, you know? Kind of basic art level. As you can see, everything's kind of like one tone. There's no shading. There's nothing to really introduce depth. There could be some glow behind the blocks that kind of differentiate them from the background. There's some off-screen gameplay too, but that's not too much of a problem. This part's a little bit better because the block design is pretty well linked into the background. It's improving, but I don't think it's something I really want to send because it's not very consistent and it seems a little bit random. Also missing a few air decoration pieces, so this is super messy. Everything is just randomly coloured and it makes everything stand out at once. Usually when you have a colour scheme you want to try and make certain things stand out, but this is all over the place with big extended bits of white that just cover up the screen and make it really bland because it's undecorated. Okay, this is very clearly influenced by Future Funk 2 by Jonathan GD. Pretty much the same in its aesthetics and effects. Yeah, it's very blatantly inspired by Future Funk 2, not something I really want to send. Sanctum by Michi. I already have this song somehow. It's kind of clean, but it's also quite basic, you know? You got the checkerboard background, nothing really new. The block design ain't bad, but it could have a couple more tones in it instead of it just being two-tone with the outline and the base. And I feel like it's way too empty to have a background that isn't really moving or changing at all. But we'll see if it improves. Kinda same formula, another checkerboard background. Just a moving object that doesn't really fill the space on the sides. Kind of an issue because it just makes it look quite bland. The movements are pretty nice, to be honest, and I like the colour changes, but I just feel like it's a bit empty and underwhelming. Again, it's super clean, but there's not really much to it once you look into it. See, look at all that space above the blocks that could be filled with arrows or some sort of effect. But I like that the background's got multiple tones in. I just missed a dash roll and died. This guy doesn't have CP, to be fair. I'm waiting for my comment because I forgot to put the percentage tag. You know what, that'll do. Let's make sure I tick the percentage this time. Or, let's make sure I hit the submit button. Otherwise, I'm going to be sat here all day. I think that's a 5-star. Hopefully it is. Yes, I'm a goddamn genius. Where do I go? Hello? No, you don't hit that. Do you jump off the... No. Do you jump off the next block? No, because you hit the saw. Where do you go? I need help. Where do you go? I'm just going to express my interest. Where do you go? 8%. Wait, what? Okay, I'm messaging Nugget. Alright, so I've hit up Jakob Nugget. Hopefully he responds by the time I finish the video. Otherwise, that level is going to waste. He's responding. Which one? Touch the ground, go underneath the pillar. Right, let's test this. Let's test this. Okay. Come on, OBS. Snap to the window. Under the ground. What? How? Did you jump off the edge? Oh my god. It literally... Oh my god, he's such a genius. Thank you. Oh, I don't know. These pillars are really saturated and they really clash with the background that's going on. It's kind of hard to tell the outlines. This is super hard. Okay. I didn't realize I was in for this. This part's also kind of basic. But I'm liking the colours and I'm liking the gameplay. You know, it's a fun level. As Jakob Nugget said, it's quite nice work from an unknown creator. The colours are super nice though in this part. I really like that. Oh damn. See, this is what I mean about varying ground spikes. This doesn't even use ground spikes, it just uses structures. That level was super cool. I like that, even if the design's kind of repetitive in the end. Oh, look at me being a pro. Oh, okay, that. I did a ship hop basically first try. Just want to check one thing. Yeah, I think this block design's kind of reused. Bang, there's the comment. It's 10-star rating. Remake of Soulwind. I can see that, you know. These blocks are kind of cool, but again, it's empty. There's not much to it other than the low opacity background. And these saws don't fit in with this design, since the design's light grey and the saws are black, and there's no way of easing that in. You know, it's just a straight contrast. Let's see how the drop goes. It's pretty samey, but nice. Bang. That is probably the best comment I've ever written. My highest IQ comment I've ever written. How is that a 6? I'm rating that an 8, sorry. Okay, these colours are ridiculous. There's no blending, which kind of just makes everything clash together, and they're all really bright colours. Yeah, these blocks at the top, as you can see, they're not formatted properly. It's just super messy with lots of light and dark details that don't really complement each other. That's a lot of black and white contrast. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all. I feel like some opacities could be changed just to make it a bit cleaner. I would like to see a greater depth in colour, shading and opacity to sort of ease this contrast of black and white a bit better, because it doesn't really go well with such a bright version of the colour. It's been a bit repetitive so far. The 20% in hasn't really swapped its style. It's changed the colour though, which kind of makes up for it. But yeah, that wave part was a bit ropey. I don't know, it just felt a bit clustered. A lot of details in the same space, and they all just overlap each other and make it look super congested. It's confusing to say the least. But let's see. Yeah, it's very messy, very messy getting into this part. But I'm hoping the drop saves it a little bit. See, details like that overlapping the orbs, I'm not a fan of. Oh god, invisible teleportals. That was cool, I guess, but it's very empty. There's no details here. I can appreciate the custom background, but the circles are patchy, and there's no real design. But it's quite clean. It's also very fun to play. Holy moly. Yeah, there's not many details here. And the blocks just don't have any design at all. I'm going to skip this too. I'm going to get to the end of the page, and then that'll be the end of the video. This is quite original, but the overlay just makes everything look a bit muddy. I feel like it should have blending on to kind of uplift the colour instead of making it a bit more congested, if you know what I'm saying. I can appreciate the visuals, but I think the block design was also a bit spammy. There's lots and lots of details in one block, which kind of doesn't really give it a design. I'm not a fan of the use of not blending. I don't know what the opposite of blending is. I'm just going to say not blending. It makes everything just merge together. Every single overlay that's on this. Yeah. Whoa, straight into it. Jeez. Was that start pause? It was. Okay, this is a hacked level. Might be a little bit messy because of the opacity of the black and the block shading. This is super saturated. And again, I don't think there's any blending use. It's quite trippy to be honest, but there's a lack of detail. I feel like there could be some outlines instead of it just all being saturated colour. It would help certain parts like stand out a bit more than others. certain blocks, I mean. This is the last level, Renai Circulation 2, Marco's 2353. Here we go. Oh my god, these colours are insane. Everyone wants to use, like, crazy colours. Oh god, this song. This song is very questionable. And there's also... I'm never really a fan of using the ground for Spider, because it just leaves big open rectangles with literally no structures or anything. Yeah, there's no details, and all the colours are just completely crazy. Like, what is going on? Another checkerboard background again. I much prefer taking requests, but magic isn't really a bad way to find good levels, and I hope that you've learned something from watching this video. Thank you for watching this video. In fact, it's been Wulzy. I'm out.